with Polygon Pythagoras. MetaMask, yeah, crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope. My eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Help me ET phone. Whole body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the Metatope golden era. The whitelist still open. Hurry up, what you need? Golden chariot. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah, and use it inside your live stream. And all your metaverses, favorite games in widescreen. Metatope, visualize your digital ID.
What's up, guys? We had some crazy issues getting the space up, getting rugged back to back. Like, it was crazy. Not sure what's going on with Twitter today. I saw like a couple spaces also got rugged. And now like the music setup that I've done a few times now, it sounds like garbage. So I've got this is like basically Web 1. And I thought, like, I was glad that I was born a certain date. You know, I'm 35. I was like, all right, you know, these people had to live a certain way. I get all the shortcuts to, you know, plug and play. But nope, not when it comes to soundboarding Twitter spaces. It is like wires everywhere. There's cords everywhere. And now, like, I haven't done anything different than the last time. And maybe it's like something is just positioned wrong or something's maybe like loose. I don't know. But I thought I was technical, and it's falling apart. But either way, we continue. Sorry, guys, we got rugged, and we're moving forward. So I'm sure people will jump in as they see the space pop up. Let's go ahead and retweet the room. Obviously, getting rugged, the last space that people set reminders to doesn't work now. So we definitely want to get the people that were hoping to jump in here to listen in can jump in. I see some of pretty much the guests have showed up. So if you want to come up and get on the speaker panel, just request up. I'll get you guys up here as you're ready. Thanks for stopping by early to the TopeTalk episode 45. We had some secrets to reveal. Lots of secrets out here, you know, that people just don't know about Web3. And we got to talk about some things. Welcome to the stage, everybody. Real quick, let's get the Tully's hand, and then I'll start introductions.
What's up, Chris? Just a quick thing about the spaces. It fucking sucks to get rugged, you know, after you've got a bunch of RSVPs. But I think one thing you can do that works for me is if you close out the app before you start the space, then it should be fine. I think it's like a caching issue or something like that. So just FYI.
Okay, good to know. I'll hit you up on the text about it. I mean, I switched phones completely. So that's why I was like, it took a second to bring it back up because I don't know what the hell was going on there. But yeah, spaces are fun. It's fun tools that we have at Web3 here at our disposal. So yeah, let's introduce the room. Just going to go down the line here. We've got Mr. Crypto Medic, operations manager here at the Metatope team. What's going on? How's your Thursday going, man?
What's up, my brother from another mother? How are you? It's been a crazy week, man. Memecoin season. The only thing I find good about it is all the NFTs are on sale, baby. I love it. I'm having a great Thursday. Glad to be here.
Whoops, sorry about that, guys. Just making sure everyone was awake. You know, here's a little ringer in your ear. You know, maybe pop some wax out of there. But anyway, yeah. Thanks for coming up, Medic. I just unplugged the other phone because this one has a better microphone, in my opinion. Yeah, so I wanted to introduce next in line here. We've got Mr. Buckets. I saw you actually just made some noise, Buckets. What happened?
What happened is the top part of the Spaces screen is completely black for me. In the bottom half, I could see people. So I was just trying to play with it, making sure that we're good to go. But that's besides the point. It's good to be here. Good to speak with y'all.
Bro, Spaces are down bad today. I mean, Twitter's falling apart. The budget's down. You know, they gotta hide the speakers, just show listeners at this point. I mean, thanks for being here, Buckets. Look forward to diving into some stuff with you. It was an awesome time seeing you, not only in LA, but NFT NYC. Your party was amazing. Love to tap into some of that stuff here shortly. Mr. Tolley, what's up? Mr. Tolley Bear, you know, a good friend of mine for many, many, many years. And funny to see him. I saw him standing, you know, trying to talk to somebody I wanted to say hi to. And I was like, you know, I'll give him 15 seconds. And then once he was, you know, as I see, it was taking too long. and the phone started coming out. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me go over here and say hello. And no, it's great. Good friend. Web3, very, very good reputation. People, I used his name badge at NTNYC, and people thought I was him. I took full credit. I took some pictures, signed like I think like their visitor pass, and kept going. So what's going on, Toli?
What's up? What a fucking intro. I'm at Consensus Austin right now, day 2. I'm actually sidelined over here at the Utes event, but I got my beer. I'm hanging out with my Twitter friends, so I mean it's it's kind of like it's not as good of an event as NFT NYC was. Like it's kind of the reverse. Like NFT NYC, the actual like convention was shit, but the after parties were amazing. Here, the convention is awesome, but the after parties are kind of mid. But it's definitely much more of a professional setting, so I can actually shake hands and like remember who I talked to the next day, which is probably good for business. So I'm having a good time out here.
No, and that makes a lot of sense, dude. I went to Consensus last year, and I remember like even like the Central. Luckily, was like the couple days before, and I don't even know if the Central did this year, but it like helped with the party side. But man, Consensus people, they don't party. They don't do anything except for go to that conference because I think they spent like what $3,000 on a wristband for like the whale pass or something. So that pretty much covered everything. But no, it's good to hear, and I want to dive in a little more about what you're seeing there at Consensus. But I'm glad that you're getting an opportunity to do more networking because really, depending on where you're at in your business, that can be more important than attending IRL events and stuff. So, I ran when I was there last year at Consensus. I ran into Cointelegraph, like one of their lead writers. So it was a pretty cool situation. That's where you're gonna find like people that can uplift the business through organic marketing and stuff like that. So. Mr. Enzo, how you doing, bro? Good to see you again. Earlier today, him and I were on a ASL Queen. What is that space? ASL Ape Starline. Yeah, cool space. How you doing,
Yeah,
Enzo?
it's Starline.
Hey, what's up, man? Great. For the first time in over a year, I know some tech people in here are gonna make fun of me, but for the first time in over a year, I don't have the activate windows at the bottom left corner of my screen anymore, and I'm so hyped because now I can send screenshots and like not get like told, "Hey, activate your windows," and it's a good feeling. Took 1 year to get it done, but we're out here, man. That was the highlight of my day.
Wow, what a highlight! I mean, people get happy over smaller things. Like 25 cents in the gumball machine, it just rolls down all the way around the tube, and you just wait for it to get to the end. But now you got that, so and we don't have gumballs anymore, so I guess it works. Good to hear from you, Enzo. Let's go over to our next guest, Tetra. Man, I met Tetra at the Nakamigos Shell Orbs party, an early access party. What an awesome dude. He's got some really cool stuff going on. I can't wait to dive into. But real quick, I'll let him go an intro in here.
What's happening? I'm actually about to head off to the airport, but I'll be with you guys and just gotta put my headphones in. But yeah, I'm about to go on a 15-hour flight, so that's gonna be nice. See how that goes.
Hope you packed some sleeping pills.
I actually took some melatonin with me. I don't know if it'll work, but I brought a whole box.
And if you run out, they have some stuff at the mall or at the airport. You can get like these calming serums, like it's like a shot size of like melatonin or something. There's some cool stuff. But yeah, man, whenever you're back, would love to dive into your AR Odd Labs or OD Labs and kind of see what's going on with you guys. So take your time. Next up on the list, Mr. Doodlegenics. Oh my gosh, last time I looked up to Doodlegenics, he had. I think he might still be ranked around like the 35th to 38th mark out of top 100 spaces in Web3, which is congratulations. That's an accomplishment in its own. But ranked number 2 in the emojis used in the space, which means this man has trigger fingers like a cannon. And that not only trigger fingers, but also Doodlegenics just probably has a more active base because he can't do that himself, which means people love listening to his space. So without further ado, Doodlegenics.
Dude, my guy, what's happening? We got Walker up in the building. Shout out to the entire Memecoins family. Appreciate you guys having me up here. And it was an honor to meet Walker in LA. You know, I wasn't even expecting to actually meet him. I did not know some of the plans and, you know, the alpha of what he was doing with the D Gods. Iona U, 17 or 3617 and 5719. And when I showed up, I was like, no fucking way. And then I saw this guy rocking bling like he's 50 Cent over here. Jeez, ooh-wee. Made me more bullish on what he's got going on. And I'm just here to support, brother. And I appreciate you coming up here. And yeah, I just literally, I was texting Fred of Super Spaces tomorrow. I don't want to shill or anything, but, you know, we're having a party tomorrow and he's going to be co-hosting. So it'll be awesome, you know, to get those numbers up and get more community members using Super Spaces. I love the technology. I think they're a great team, and there's so many great builders. And Walker, yourself, the whole Metatope team, solid. So appreciate being here.
Yeah, man. Oh, for sure. Jump in, Walker.
Yo, we love you, Doodle. It was great to meet you, man. You're a super cool guy. I had no idea who I was speaking to, and you did the famous Doodlegenics intro, and I knew immediately. You're a great person, man. Super glad you came in the space. You're always welcome, and we'll definitely show support for your space tomorrow.
Thank you, brother. And Walker's like, let's get a Drake Doodle. Do it. Do the Doodle. He wanted me to get all sort of fucking crazy, but it was a hype party. And no, I just appreciate you having me there. And you show me love like another brother. So, you know, the community was happy. The event was awesome. And the technology is really dope. So make sure you tap in. We also hosted that stick space for you, Walker. That was pretty dope. We got a lot of signups there for the Metatope. You know, me and Dill ran it back a couple days. It was like 8 hours. We did marathons for you know, my man Walker, and we'll go to war for the family. You know, so I appreciate you here.
Bro, it was crazy. We were lighting up the internet with the Doodlegenics and the Metatope, man. That was super fun. You guys were on a mission. I think we did like 4 or 5 spaces, like 8 to 12 hour spaces in the span of a week and a half. It was crazy.
You got to run up the numbers, baby. But I appreciate it, and thank you for having me here, Chris. Back to you, brother.
Nah, for sure, man. Awesome time. I think connections through Twitter Spaces to IRL just really solidifies like who's real in this industry, and you can really gauge a person and know if they're here to stay or if they're a bad actor. So it's really cool that we create these good experiences with each other and try to solidify that a lot of us are here to stay and are doing this for a good purpose and for the future of technology. So with last but not least, RecU1, man. This is a partner with Tolly Bear. They got DGen's Den in the house here. Awesome start. I think they're 4 or 5 episodes in, but tons of audience and creating a special show for people. So thank you for joining us.
I appreciate the intro. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to today's conversation. A bunch of familiar faces here. So I'm really looking forward to speaking with you guys.
Awesome, man, for sure. So I don't think I missed anybody. Real quick before we get started, nothing here is financial advice. Let's not forget that. It's just entertainment and learning, experience and learning and hearing it from other people. You might, hope to walk away with learning at least one thing here in our space today. So let's dive into some cool stuff. I wanted to kind of jump into the market. I mean, we just saw the government take some accounts that they've confiscated in the past full of Bitcoin, and it seems to be entering our market. And then the next day, the debt ceiling is raised. Walker, can you start us off with telling us what the hell's going on?
Yeah, bro. I mean, we've had this discussion, I think, quite a few times in different ways, and it's a very important one. But it's regarding our monetary policy, and what our government has shown over the past 10 years is that we really are living in this reality of an infinite supply regarding the U.S. dollar. We live in many would argue, and I would agree that we live in a debt-driven system. We only see new liquidity issued when new debt is created in most cases, right? But then over the past 3 years, we've seen like roughly 65% of the entire M1 money supply printed, right? So like quantitative easings introduced in 2008, we have this, really where it started. Not only was there nothing backing the dollars that were issued, but we could really just issue new debt whenever we wanted, in any amount. Now, there's obviously other rules and regulations that regard how they can issue debt and how much, right? But those rules can change just like the debt ceiling. So, now we're living in this time where we quadrupled, nearly quadrupled the M1 money supply since 2020, right? So like all of the money printing we did before then just looks like a freaking, it's just a blimp. Like the chart is just absolutely parabolic. For anybody that wants to check it out, if you just type in M1 money supply, I think it was probably the first link. Don't be careful with your links, but it's from the Fed. It's all public data. So moving into while we're here, right? We've printed all this money. We've raised interest rates. So all the debt that they're holding is becoming more expensive. The interest on that debt, and so they need more money, right? So what are they going to do when they hit the debt ceiling? You have two options, right? You can default on the U.S. dollar. You cannot pay your bills, right? And we lose AAA, bond status, right? And slowly but surely, as we're already seeing, people start to lose faith. Governments, countries, big borrowers, they start to lose faith in the ability for the U.S. government to pay their debt. Well, they're not going to let that happen, right? They can't let that happen. That is the collapse, one of the ways U.S. dollar could really lose its dominance. So they're going to raise the debt ceiling, right? So that's why we're here. Yeah, the government's holding, they're holding some assets that they got from different activities abroad and otherwise, and yeah, they're gonna sell it. They're probably seeing a big run. I don't know if they have an analyst on staff, but probably less correlated than it may seem.
God damn. Well, I mean, like, I think we could have stuck to like one or two sentences there, but no, I'm just kidding. That was a lot of really good information. Does anybody else want to touch into that? I mean, I'm not that's why I pick on Walker for that, because he is the financial powerhouse. Anybody else have anything they want to add into this situation? Perfect. Me either. We're moving on. So we're going to talk now about. Let's talk about this whole shitcoin thing that's happening. We've touched on this last week. Meme coins, yada yada, and you're seeing new stuff every day pop up. A lot of them, 95% are honeypots. It feels like, if you're chasing down like a Dex tool, like live listing or whatever. But really, out of the interesting news, Binance launched an article on their site, how to buy Pepe. And now you're seeing in the last couple of hours, the Pepe coins, a lot of volume driving in. And I'm sure that everyone's favorite influencer is speculating that this is now going to Binance. It's happening, yada, yada. But really, I'm more curious just to think that they've probably received a lot of inquiries on how to buy Pepe, which is a good thing. Obviously for an exchange that draws a lot of attention. But to me, this is more of a way they're just basically saying use Trust Wallet, which will connect you to a decentralized exchange. So it's kind of just directing people. But some people can plead the case that it's good. Some can plead the case that they don't want anything to do with it. Doodle, what do you think about that? Is this something
I had a space today actually called Speculation, and we were talking about shitcoins. I put out a tweet, is shitcoins killing the NFT market? And you'll be surprised. And I just think that a lot of people are just chasing those quick monetary, quick returns. I think that individuals that are over investing into thinking it could be the next Dogecoin or maybe Shiba coin, and thinking it's going to be picked up by a central exchange like maybe Crypto.com or even Coinbase. I don't know. I don't think that it's going to it's not a layer one blockchain. It doesn't have much behind it. Anybody can go and make an ERC20 token and add a little bit of liquidity of it, and then just list it on a Uniswap or a Pancake Swap. I don't know. I think it's super speculative. Yet there's people from the community that own billions of it. Some of them even trillions. So I don't know, man. You got any moon candy in your bag?
Yeah, man. I mean, I do, but you know what? Interesting enough, like I feel like last year's season was before the NFT burst, right? And it's like, or before that, like it started to really ramp up on the NFT side of things. So I feel like this time around, we're seeing a lot of early money come in from the NFT side, which I don't think was like the case last time, and for the most part. And it's like this could be interesting as people do come back into a what we consider like the shitcoin season. Like this, if this is like not it, and we're just kind of experiencing like maybe a little mini season between like what's left in the Web3 space in general, it would be interesting to see like a Pepe coin like receiving not maybe not as high a level of like a shib coin, but receiving treatment from Binance or these other sites with a little bit of respect for the coin, with like listings and stuff. So I'm just really curious to see where this goes. I think it's so early to tell because like just the sheer fact that it's like
Historically,
we're
the
the
Pepe meme has taken over the internet
oh
many
yeah.
times. And, when you can capture the entire world's attention in the NFT community or just on a global scale like that on the internet as a viral moment, I think you can move anything. I think you can move enough people into a room, a door, a token, a stock, and that's exactly what you're seeing happen. And I just don't understand people buying it at the peak. I know not everyone can understand a crypto chart, not everyone can read charts, but when you see it at the all-time high, that's definitely a time not to buy. Like just understanding the basic RSI, which is like a trading symbol indicator. You want to buy when it's low. Not at the top of the peak, not at the top at the mountains. But when did you get in, Chris?
I've got just like a small moon bag in Pepe. I've been running it up with the group of guys I mess with on coins with Gensler has been like our main play. Just holding. I mean, we're holding. This thing has like a couple 100K of liquidity that's not moving. So I think like our plan of like why we're holding is like thinking that there's only going to be a few that make it out of this, and the political side of things going into the election and stuff, it just kind of makes a lot of sense to be doing a meme around political, like Mr. Gary Gensler, So let's go to buckets real quick.
Yeah, just a quick comment on the Binance, tutorial, basically step-by-step guide. Like, I posted a tweet today about like we're kind of bored in NFT Twitter because there's nothing new that's being released. And if you think that we're bored, imagine these companies who are literally centralized exchange. There's nothing really moving. There's no activity. People are not, making Binance accounts in the daily. So they need content, just like we need content. They do too. So what are they using? They're using the next hot thing as content. That's the only reason why they posted this article, is for content for themselves and have something to draw users or draw viewers to their platform. That's why they're doing it, and they're capitalizing over on our hype and our hopium and our bags in order for them to, have some form of traction during this bear market. It used to be they used to have a new coin listing every fucking week, if you remember, during the bull market. They used to list like the shittiest things in the world, but at the same time, you always like a new coin enters like the top 250 market cap on Coin Market Cap. They used to be like, holy shit, let's list this thing, and then that coin used to moon by like 30%. Then they write an article, what is coin XYZ, whatever it is. So they're doing the same thing, but they have no content, so they're using Pepe.
Dude, that makes a lot of sense, Bucket. And I wanted to follow up, with when it comes to like these Web3 events, and you do a lot of really good articles on your story, which I don't know, I don't think you deserve as much, or I think you deserve more credit than you're getting regarding view counts and comments and stuff. But like you just do an event with the Shell Orbs Early Access Nakamigos. You have experience in that. You've put some great articles. I mean, what do you feel like is what do you think like where do you feel like the evolving future of these events is going to lie? I mean, that was more of an article that I was interested in than the one you just posted.
Yeah, no, for sure. So there's two things. Like every time people have a space, like a Twitter space on IRL events and Web3 events and how it's being done wrong all these years, like they're always talking about innovative ways to make it more interactive or more, holder based themed, all that good stuff. Like we don't want to hear people talk. We want to have a chance to actually connect with people. And then how could we actually use the technology to help facilitate that? But the problem is, before we actually make more interactive and great events and great conferences that's more Web3 native, that's more catered to us, we actually need to have people in the space who understand biz dev, understand production, understand how to throw in an actual event. The problem is these Web3 companies, they saw $50 million, $40 million throw out a mint in the bull market and are throwing money at a problem. And that's how these projects end up depleting their funds, because they just don't understand business development when it comes to IRL events. Or it's a bunch of tech nerds behind the screen trying to launch an event, and then they hire the wrong person who's like literally like just taking cash from them. So I feel like the first step, and it might not be like the sexiest take, but it is, in my opinion, the most, concrete take, is if we develop, an actual like business plan, an actual event, uh, pitch deck for sponsors, for hosts, for curation, for the venue, for everything. If we actually come up with a business plan for that, we will build the foundation. It's like imagine you're launching an NFT project without a community. It's like you have to build a community first, then launch. It's the same thing with an event. If you don't build that foundation, if you don't build literally the pillars for a great event, how is that event ever going to happen? How is that success ever going to happen? And that's the thing that I feel like a lot of people are missing the mark. They're always talking about, oh, it's not really catered to us. These conferences are bullshit. All these priorities are just booze and music. I can get that anywhere. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but that you're trying to fix the solution rather than fixing the problem. It's like, I don't like the outcome, but I'm not going to actually tackle the reasons those outcomes are apparent in the first place. And like, that's what I've seen. That's actually what I've experienced in throwing an event. Is you build that foundation, you have solid pitch decks for sponsors, you have a solid plan for the venue, you're making sure all the correct boxes are checked, build that foundation, and then for the final 2 weeks of the event, final 2 weeks of planning, you could actually help curate it and brand it and make an experience that people will remember.
Got it. And before we go to Cryptomatic here, Mr. Tolley, being he's in consensus, before he goes, I know he's got some stuff he's got to do. Dude, give us a quick rundown. I mean, how are the IRL events that you have attended? Do you feel like you're, like, what would you say on what scale 1 to 10 on your experience so far? And do you feel like there could be opportunity in that consensus for next year, or just even that like mix of Web3, crypto, blockchain, NFT, everything? Like, is this a ball that's being dropped?
No, I mean, I think going IRL is important because you obviously get to meet the people that you're hanging out with on Twitter. I would say consensus is, like I said earlier, it's definitely much more professional. It's not as degen-y as like NFT NYC. I think probably because consensus is just a general blockchain event, whereas NFT NYC, it's NFTs, and it's kind of funny how different it is. Like it just kind of points to the culture. The NFT culture is a lot more degen than the general blockchain culture itself. So yeah, no, I'm bullish on IRL events. Definitely good to make connections and plans with people before coming out. So you got people to meet up with, like hang out with. Like at NFT NYC, I had my whole team out there, and I was planning for weeks and weeks, and it was a blast. Like out here, I just kind of showed up, and I have like a friend or two that I spend time with. But yeah, no, it's I'm having a good time.
Awesome, bud. Well, go enjoy your time, man, for sure. Cryptomatic,
Thanks
you
for
had your
having
hand
me,
up,
man.
right? Oh, for sure, man. Anytime, Tony. Medic, you had your hand up, right?
Yeah, I was just going to comment back on what Buckets was saying about kind of where we are in this space, right? I think we've seen this repeated now through several seasons where somebody has a good idea and then everybody else tries to figure out how to leech off that idea in marketing, and I don't mean necessarily directly in the scam sense where obviously people try to remain repetitive projects, but I mean real projects or real marketing that comes out that really is just an offshoot, like what we saw with Binance, right? Just picking up on something that somebody else got big and trying to draw eyes with it. And I find it very interesting that that seems to be a repetitive thing we see in this space that we don't really see in Web 2 and in general commercials. Like you don't see that on television really, right? People come up with original ideas. And the ones that are doing that in this space obviously are the ones we're seeing succeed and I think are going to last.
Makes a lot of sense, man. Makes a lot of sense. So, yeah. So I mean, there's definitely a lot of going on. I mean, we just need more time, right? I think as some of these projects start to see volume disappear, I think we'll see which of these coins are going to make it through the second round. You know, like it's almost like battle royale of coins, sadly. But you know, it seems like it's also moved to a more of a pre-sale route. You know, we're seeing like these 0% token taxes. But when it was like the previous year when we went through this cycle, there was a lot more like taxed coins with actually like, you know, of some sense a roadmap. Right now, I feel like we've gone a step backwards, and now we're just like basically throwing money at the wall with like no glue, maybe like a little bit of saliva, and seeing if it will stick. But it doesn't like actually. Most of the time, that build never makes it to the wall. It just falls down. So just keep in mind when you're spending your money on this kind of stuff. Don't let FOMO take over. Like Doodle said, people are buying at all-time highs. It doesn't make any sense. It's like this little FOMO of missing out, but they don't even understand what a market cap is, and all they're seeing is a green candle, and it's like, oh my god, it's never gonna stop. So, Tetra, you in a good spot
Yeah, I'm
now?
still driving around the airport. Serious, but I was gonna say, like, you know, well, it's true, but big
Yeah,
Whoa,
bro,
hold on, hold on.
you're a robot. You're all robot.
Rejoin, brother, rejoin. You sound like the Tesla's taking over.
So Chris, I have a statement that I heard, and I would really love, you know, your response, the panel's response to it. You know, Doodle was talking about, you know, the meme coin and like, you know, what, like, you know, the psychology and the, you know, the person who's there. Somebody said that NFTs were a shit coin with a JPEG attached. And I would love to know, you know, what you guys think about that. I mean, because at the current state of NFTs, like the value propositions that are there, it seems like that's the liquidity that we're fighting for.
I think, Walker, it's like NFTs is such a small market cap. It's like trading goddamn Rolex watches. It's just, you got to be a person of status to buy NFTs. Not everyone in the world can even afford an NFT. You know, to be owning, you know, first the digital piece of art and then having it, you know, worth something, you know, attached to a blockchain. I think it's the right blockchain that you invest into. And then also, I think that, just like you said, is like, we're fighting for that liquidity, and a lot of people right now are just exit liquidity. I hate to say it, but I see them coming into projects late. I see them buying dead PFP projects. Like, when's the last time they did a space? When's the last time they did an IRL event? And you know, those IRL events mean a lot. I went to NFT NYC, I went to NFT LA, and being at both, I've seen Frank, you know, speak to a stage of like, I don't know, like 25 people. He has like 400 people in the fucking space, and you know, and then after those partnerships or collaborations don't really happen at the conference. You know, I actually got to talk to Kevin at the Metatope and DGod party there for about half an hour, and you know, kind of just strategize and see, you know, where his head was at, and you know what the future looked like for his, and you know what the market really needed. And from someone who was like an executive at Instacart, and you know, he knows people in Silicon Valley, California, all over, but you know, he knows people that have deep pockets, and it becomes kind of like a social club. It's like you don't see the biggest deals happen, you know, on Zoom calls. They happen on the golf course. They happen, you know, in the clubs. They happen on those private parties and events. So I think that's super important to continue to go to that and still cultivate the community and the culture, and yeah, have some fun as well as you're doing it. I think if you're not enjoying the process, then what are you doing it for? But I think you put yourself in a vulnerable position when you're over investing in NFT projects just to make a quick buck. You know, like I would love to go pick up a pudgy penguin at 4 ETH. You know, but what am I doing it for? Am I doing it just for the monetary value? I want to be doing it just for the community. I want to be doing it to grow and build with them. If I could see some monetary value, that's the goal, but I don't want to be exit liquidity, especially in a vulnerable time. But sometimes it's when blood's in the streets, it's the best time to buy.
Always, you gotta buy the fear and sell the greed, right? I mean, I hear a lot of times like people separate like psychology and technical analysis, but that's all it is. That's shifting some because of how many like bots and like AI trading algorithms are being deployed. Yeah, man, it's all human emotion. That's exactly how markets move. And to speak to your point on the liquidity piece, I mean, we personally, the NFT NYC last year, um, just to see the liquidity surrounding the event, there couldn't have been 25% of that total liquidity that was there last year, there this year. And I think a lot of these projects, are they're struggling. I mean, because these are business models. These are entities that have to be able to produce, to sustain, and to build. And that's one of the most important pieces, that I think has been missed by a lot of groups.
Yeah, and I mean that's actually what I wanted to go over to Buckets with. It sounds like he's probably on the same wavelength. Buckets, go ahead.
Yeah, like the one thing that we actually have in crypto and we have in buying and selling coins is we have like the freedom greed and the fear and greed index. If probably a lot of us are familiar with it, but for those who don't, it's basically a tracker that basically gives a score depending on the fear and greed levels of the market and market sentiment. It's usually a lagging indicator, but it's still important to see in the macro of where are people's mentality at? What are people thinking? Are people fearful of the market? Oh, we're gonna giga dump anytime soon. Are people having hopium? Whatever it is, right? But at the same time, we don't really have that for NFTs, right? Because one of the first NFT bull market happened during the bull market. We did have some form of a resurgence when crypto was down, right? Because people were like, I'm not seeing money from coins. Let me see money from NFTs. But we don't have that fear and greed index. I think what we're doing here on Twitter and on Twitter Spaces is that index for ourselves. Like we get to gauge the timeline, we get to gauge people's emotions on Spaces, and then here and there we will have opportunities to see capital fluctuate within the ecosystem from place to place, from NFTs to shitcoins, and that's actually like very few opportunities present itself that way for us in NFTs because very few times we can actually see on chain the fear and greed index. We're seeing a lot of capital going through Uniswap, especially if you're tracking Etherscan and seeing how much gas is being burnt. I remember during the first initial and second NFT bull market, like OpenSea and these NFT platforms and mint contracts were like taking over the top 5 spots on Etherscan for gas burnt, and then Uniswap was like somewhere there. Now Uniswap is destroying gas right now, so it's actually a very interesting time for us to see if there's blood on the streets, and if we all kind of feel it, we're all kind of gauge that in on the timeline and on Spaces. But I feel like for the first time since the start of NFTs, we actually do have like on-chain metrics for a fear and greed index in terms of what people are feeling. Not necessarily in capital inflow because you could always track that, but in terms of that fear and greed index, I feel like we are like approaching some form of a bottom. Could we go lower? Absolutely, right? But it is in the fear. It is we are fearful and we're not greedy at the moment. So it's just an interesting time in the market, and I'm very curious to see how we progress from here.
I really appreciate that viewpoint, Buckets. I think I'm sure a lot of other people do as well. And like one thing that I've learned, and I'll even like kind of like deploy this socially, like when I'm around others, especially people that I respect. But when nobody thinks that a bull market can start, is exactly when the bear market ends, and the opposite is true for a top. Right? I mean, just going against that psychological barrier, because if nobody thinks that a bull market can start, then there's probably very few people left to sell.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. When there's nobody left to sell, that's when you buy, or at least the smart people do. I buy at the top. I'm the person that Doodles was talking about earlier. So Tetra, you back in action over here? Damn.
Down
Tetra.
bad, bro.
Down bad,
Down
Tetra.
bad.
I'm probably even worse right now. It's like in the airport. I'm cutting in. I'm cutting out.
No, bro, you so good.
Oh, is it? Is it good? That's surprising. You know what? We finally made it. I'm waiting in line right now. Hopefully we'll get in. But yeah, the whole aspect of what you guys are saying about are NFTs just shit coins with essentially a JPEG attached to them? I think in a big way, they really are because people do, take things and just copy it and, start a new project with it. Now, the great part about it is that people see the community behind it and feel like, you know what, then it has to be something real because there's a community. I mean, if you guys have been in crypto, you go on Telegram and see how strong those communities are. I mean, some of these coins have insane dedicated communities, and the max fees for each one of these projects have, or even these protocols have insane communities behind them. So I think a big part is going back to even what Bugs was saying about, business development and building a good plan for an event. This is the same thing for any of these brands. Like for them to actually be able to leverage their IP and, build something great, they either have to go through that biz dev process, figure out how to really grow an organic brand and something that's sustainable outside of just selling Web3 assets. And on top of it, I think everyone copies each other until the new meta comes because it's hard to create new metas. But the ones that do and the ones that sustain are the ones that essentially, people want to drive their money into. So that just leaves a massive opportunity because obviously there is a market. There's people who are willing to buy these speculative assets. And now it leaves an opening for founders that are creating things that they, have a vision for that actually this market can use. Because, not many people are actually putting out, great tech. Not many people are shipping anything outside of the same smart contract getting rewritten, the JPEGs getting changed up, and the same thing going out with a different story. So, what it really comes down to is a massive opportunity for builders in this space to actually come out with dope shit and, cultivate communities around real tech.
Yep, no, 100%. And that's why I was actually really curious to learn more, about what you're doing at OD Labs. I mean, what do you feel like is the future of like IP when it comes to AR technology, and when it, what kind of role does social media play in that?
Well, I don't know if you guys saw the announcement that Apple had just was like a day or two ago, but even that's like they're talking about their extended reality headset. It's like a mix of MR, AR, and VR. But ultimately, I think a good example of where AR is going to be is if you look at the actual AI example. Go look at Midjourney's update from last year, from February. Put the exact same prompt in, and then after you put that prompt in, go ahead and now put that same prompt in today on V5 and see how dramatically different the thing is. Like literally, it will look like those pictures that you do your captcha on, that used to tell you like, okay, if you're trying to come to this website, you're a bot. It's the difference between that and like an amazingly illustrated image. And that's how far it comes in a year. So AR is going to be progressively going faster and faster as well. Meta's spending billions of dollars right now, 13 billion last year, 10 billion the year before in their reality labs division. Apple's coming out with their headset, hopefully sometime this summer is what it's slated to come out. So there's a whole new world of opportunity of how we're going to be interacting with this IP and all these assets. And that's where I see this market going in a big way, because I think one of the biggest things that everybody has a keyword like utility. Well, there isn't really much because it's hard to build an ecosystem that's only lived through your phone. But now when we go towards an ecosystem where all these assets live around us and live amongst us, we're going to be able to build entire new experiences. And that's a big part of what we're focused on. Not only are we building dope assets, and I'm an artist myself. I had a gallery, Buckets actually came out to it for Art Basel. Like, I had like full AR experience. 17,000 people came through. We had over 300,000 scans in 3 days on our AR activations. But beyond that, it's like, we're building actual dope tech that then we can leverage out and give to other projects and other artists as well. And because, the ecosystem really grows when everybody has dope shit and everybody can actually build out so it's larger, like an echo chamber, it can only for so long. But when everybody actually, helps other projects out and wants to see other projects win, I think that's one of the biggest problems in this space too. People almost like it to see like somebody going down so they can get into the next thing. But that doesn't really help it. Like, the amount of people dunking on projects does not help anything. Literally, the best case scenario is that big brands in this space actually, ship some great products and get given the tools to be able to succeed so that the whole space can succeed.
It's all about working together. I mean, I think there's so much out there that we all are building, and a lot of people are afraid, of others stealing information or taking an idea and doing it themselves and stuff. And at some point, it's got to click where we all start to create that interoperability that I think we all discuss between each other as builders. I mean, it's got to happen, and I think some people win, some people don't win as much. But they were gonna try to do something, and it's like I think that it's got to get to a point where people are working together. It's just too. It is an echo chamber, and it can't we can't build what people want to call like utility until somebody actually until there's actually people to sell it or to build it for. So I think tech companies have to
Yeah,
come and create the infrastructure for the roads before the cities, right?
yeah, and how we think. Like one of the ethoses that we have behind what we're building is that in this space, if you just akin it back to crypto itself, you're either essentially building a token that possibly gives access to a marketplace, access to some sort of a utility. That's what the purpose of these tokens are, or you're building a protocol. And protocols have always been bigger than tokens. And protocols that then get used as tokens are the biggest ones. When you think of something like ETH and how big it's gotten, it's not because everybody loves transacting and paying the gas fees. It's because everybody's building on the layer ones and the layer two. It's like it just creates an entire opportunity for other people to build in your ecosystem. And that's how the space grows. And if you follow that same model with the companies that come out, that's how you become extremely successful versus maybe having one big burst.
Roger that. Recu, I wanted to jump over to you, man. Do you have anything you want to chime in on the stuff we've been talking about, or I wanted to kind of see, what's the future of the DGen Den? What do you guys have going on? Where do you see yourself playing a role in as an impact for the broader social media landscape?
Oh boy, good question. Well, I'm just listening here. I love the conversation. I think it's really insightful. I loved everyone's take, including Tetra. I liked what Buckets had to say regarding kind of the DGen Den. I mean, it's something Tully and I kind of recently started about 5 weeks ago. I haven't done a whole lot of spaces prior to that, but we had this idea, feature some projects that we find interesting, kind of give them an opportunity to shine some light on what they're building, because it is tough out here in this market, and I really don't think people put enough respect on what it actually takes to be a founder. I mean, these guys really work endlessly, and not to mention the massive financial commitment. I mean, it's tough out here. So we thought, hey, let's put something together here, and we have a fun time with it. But really, we're just leveling up the guests. We'll have the D Gods team joining us for the next episode, but really just continuing to do what we're doing as of now, just getting even bigger guests to join us.
For sure. Are you guys using super spaces or any type of analytical tool to help with your growth?
I'm not too familiar with what that is. We've just been kind of doing it, ourselves. We haven't got too, deep into the analytics. But I may need to look into that.
Bro, that's why you see Doodle, he has fingers, he must have built on finger. You went
I
on
just
Amazon
checked
about
my score. I probably got, a super high unique audience. I got to talk to Fred. It's putting me down at 39 there. Chris, fucking guy was at
I mean, to me, I was
35
trying to
just
hype you
last
up.
week.
Well, you got to
There's new
get multiple
sharks in the
phones.
tank.
Bro, multiple phones, multiple fingers. Start using your toes. Just start learning how to do toe clicks on the thing, just left, right, and then you can have multiple accounts just spamming hearts. You don't even have to worry about what you're hitting. Just hit an emoji or something, right? Is that how it works? Is that how you rank on super spaces?
Honestly, I have it's like a twitch. I have almost a finger that I can't feel anything in, and just it's like a twitch. I throw emojis in my sleep now too. Fred, he's worried about me. Kong, he's worried about me. He thinks that I have a bot, and I told him, how the fuck would I have a bot? I'm here talking. He's like, Doodle, you're speaking, and your emoji game is pretty much exactly how you sound. So yeah, take some time, take some practice. I'm not good at video games, but this is my skill. This is my stick.
Yeah, or you have like you have somebody just sitting there like paying minimum wage, just slamming it. So they're not a bot, they're human. So you're not technically lying. Or you have AI, you've used ChatGPT to write a code to basically spam. Anytime your microphone's on, you are spamming buttons. Did I just come up with like the next way to hack Twitter Spaces? I
You
think.
just gave me a fucking brilliant idea. I'm giving you 15% royalties.
Let's go.
I put it in a 1155 contract for you, so it's on chain, and it's a recorded space. So there's about 50 witnesses, 35 witnesses, whatever you want to say. But no, all jokes aside, I think it's important to build real communities. And there's so many different reasons why people buy NFTs, whether they be access passes, whether they're building protocols and staking liquidity pools and all sorts of different IRL services and products that people are going to use. And I think that if you just focus on selling the digital assets in the short term, you might have some success. You might be one of those flash in a pan, sell out 10,000 collection in a 40 minutes period, make $3 million. But I personally don't want to be one of those guys. And I think when you do, there's nothing incentivizing you after to keep your project strong. You've already made your bag, and your holders suffer, the investors suffer. And I think that even I'm meeting people in the space from owning a few utes. I love the ute that you're rocking right now, Chris. I just bought another one this week, and it's dope. But I see a lot of people that are just influencers. They're people that use social media, and they still haven't found their really way to monetize either their social media account or really get involved into crypto. And they're just degening. They're taking a lot of the vulnerability by aping into some blue chip projects that are not really moving right now. Is the D Gods potentially going to flip Macy's? How do you feel about that, Walker? I see Walker, I see Tara, I see Rack up here with one as well too. Like, what do you think? Is there going to be a shift of people looking for that new excitement, that new hype? I was kind of disappointed that NFT NYC is like that's the ape the fest. Like that's their ground. To see them do nothing this year, I was kind of disappointed. But it is what it is. What do you think about it, Walker, Chris, anybody here on the speaker panel?
If nobody wants to take it, I will.
Oh, you gotta fucking make. What are you talking about? You gotta take this thing. This should be like a threat. This is like they're coming for your fort. They're coming for your neck. Would you what's going on?
So first off, D Gods, Utes, they've done an incredible job, right? Like their ability to build a community, especially at the time in the market, just the facilitation also to bring all of these, Solana holders and I would say, pretty successfully over to Ethereum, also onboarding new holders and taking advantage of opportunities. I mean, they're constantly, moving the needle and being flexible. And I think that's what it takes. However, when I look at Yuga, I'll look at Bored Apes, I'll look at Mutant Apes. I think that there's like over 200 companies that are building with the Bored Ape, Mutant Ape, Yuga asset collections, right? Like building brands. On top of that, somebody said earlier, you build your business model like a protocol. And I think that's exactly what Yuga is doing currently better than anyone else. And with the launch of the other side, the resurrection of Ape Fest, I think it's gonna be crazy. So don't fade Yuga. That's all I'm saying.
No,
So
you can never. All right, Buckets, back to you, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to say my final piece before I have to hop off on a call. But look, on the decoupling of ApeFest from any major conference, I think it's incredibly bullish because it allows them, just like what Walker was saying, like time it out. Because the reason why people do events is for marketing reasons. It's not only IRL marketing. It's not only for people to come and see your IP in person, which is a huge draw for us as people who only interact with our IP online, and seeing it brought to life is a big thing. but it's recyclable content. You could splice it up. You can do content for days. People are still posting content about the first Ape Fest because it was that much of a big deal. Could have been done better, but it was a huge deal. Multi-day event, all that good, type of good stuff, right? So the decoupling is actually amazing because projects have their own marketing timeline. They have their own release timeline. So why are you going to be beholden to an external factor if you don't need to in order for you to launch another Ape Fest? Now, they simultaneously there is like the ApeCoin DAO. There is like the community council that has access to funds to help sponsor events. So I was actually at the Ape event in Beverly Hills and up in the hills on Mount Olympus during NFTLA, which was sponsored by Yuga in a way. It was sponsored by the Apes DAO, so the LA Apes through an event, and also simultaneously there was an Ape event in NFT NYC. Yeah, it wasn't an official Yuga activation, but it was a Yuga backed activation and did see some funding from the DAO. So it's not like they're not having a community presence. They're just not what we're used to for an actual Yuga event. And also back in Art Basel, they did something as well, which was after Ape Fest. So they did do something at Art Basel. They had Denzel Curry perform, a couple of other performers, huge venue, indoor, outdoor. They had a couple of DJs. So, like they did do something, and that was actually an official BAYC event. Like they had their logo and all that, but it was in tandem with another event happening during Art Basel simultaneously. So we are all just waiting for Ape Fest, and the fact that we're holding Yuga up to the standard of throwing another Ape Fest just shows the expectation that the space has for Yuga. So we can't really fade them. Like we are judging Yuga kind of in an unfair standard as well because they're just literally 2 years old. So I am bullish on Yuga, and I know that they're going to release Ape Fest at the perfect time. And the decoupling strategy, I think, is genius for the space moving forward.
All right, before we go over to Lou, Doodle, I'll go back to you. I know you wanted to chime in there.
No, now he just made me mad. I was looking at my wallet. I don't have enough for a Macy's. God damn it. Buckets. I'm crying buckets. Throw one my way. Back to you, Chris. I apologize.
I'm in the same boat, Buckets. My name starts with C, his is D, so ABC order on that. Let's go over to Lou's hand here. How you doing, Lou?
What's up, everybody? GM. Yeah, I think, Buckets one. Yeah, never fade Yuga. I've learned that from experience for sure. And I think someone asked, will D Gods flip Macy? I don't, obviously being biased, it's like, yeah, I would want my floor price to go up to that level, but I think there's a lot of misconceptions.
Close. It's close. 8, 9, 10. It's close.
We're getting there. I mean, we have a lot of work to do in order to gain a lot of that trust and show people that D Gods and what you can do with them, right? Like I think if and when we can get to that level, it would be when you start seeing more people build around the IP. And in my opinion, unfortunately, the D God IP, like it's not the most appealing thing, right? Obviously, I'm more bullish on Utes like IP, just is more brandable and friendly. But I think to get to that level, we just really need people to connect to their PFP more, like actually build some things around it, like like there's Ape Water, and then there's that burger place, and the list goes on and on and on. So I think until we start seeing more development of people actually utilizing these, then we can start kind of looping back to that conversation of, oh, will it flip? But I mean, honestly, like I think we're just trying to pave our own lane. It's not really a competition, right? Like obviously D Gods would like to be at the top, but again, like we have a lot of work to do.
How many D Gods do you own?
What's up?
How many D Gods do you own? How many Utes?
I sold my Ute to get my God, so I have this one God.
Fucking legendary, baby. Clean as fuck too.
Thank you. I actually just swapped today with my buddy. So yeah, I actually just this is new to me today. My other
pulled the chains right off of his neck. God damn it! Oh my god, man! You let that out. Genius.
Oh shit. Yeah, I forgot what the hell I was saying. Something about we gotta pave our own way and earn it. But yeah, never fade Yuga. I'll just leave it with that.
Secrets revealed, ladies and gentlemen. Never fade Yuga. Wow. Big secrets popping off here. Who would have thought? You know, I thought we were going to talk about meme coins, and we are now bullish back on NFT collections. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. But no, you may bring up a lot of good points. I mean, it's not really a competition. It makes a lot of good engagement on Twitter, so it's in the best interest of engagement farming. But when it comes to the actual grand scheme of things, like where would you like where would you have like two collections if it wasn't a competition and you got together with like with Yuga Labs and D Gods and D Labs, whatever? Like you would have to rent like a festival land to have a party of like that size if it was that important to like work together on something. And that would be pretty interesting. But having like different collections gives the opportunity to curate better events for groups of people. And I think that like you're going to see people that have a team that works together on creating a spectacular experience for a community will have a longer stickiness of people that hold their assets regardless of the FUD and regardless of what happens to a floor price. And I think that's what we're seeing when it comes to the Yuga Labs ecosystem. People that own Bored Apes are not panicking. Some might be, but the majority of them are not very panicky because they have loyalty to the brand. And I think that, you know, loyalty is what will hold a community together. And you have people that you can fall back on, part of your community that will, when you feel down, will bring you up. I mean, that's just, I think, some of the strongest parts of a asset that has that type of backing to it. And it, you know, it's still worth $90,000 when it comes to a Bored Ape, and it's still worth like, what is it, 10 to 15K for a mutant or whatever the case is. I haven't looked at the mutant prices lately. So I just wanted to chime that in there. You know, it's really, this is where the community aspect comes into play, is when sometimes when we're going through the winter of winters. I mean, we are in a winter storm that is to the point where it's almost up to your neck. It's about to enter your mouth. And if you're going to give up, I mean, you made it this far. We're this far in. There's no point in leaving now. There's no point in panicking. I mean, at this point, there's going to be nobody left. So it's got to go up from there. So hold tight. Lou, let's go to you.
That's a good point. Yeah, you know, we came this far. We're not fucking going back. This is when the Leonardo DiCaprio GIF comes in. It's like, I'm not fucking leaving. But I will say, he's talked about secrets. I think cross community pollination is, especially right now, since, you know, we're all in this together, is key, right? Like I know Utes and Azuki and like Pudgy Penguins did an awesome space. I think it was like a week ago. So that was cool. You know, it wasn't really like, oh, we're better than anyone, or, you know, it's just everyone's just coming together, right? And I know Zagabond just, you know, scooped up 10 D gods, so now he's an X plus. So I think when we see more things like this,
That was yesterday, no?
yeah, it was yesterday. So he's in now. I would love to see a D gods in like Bored Ape space. I think that would be really, really cool. Yeah, I think cross community pollination right now is just, you know, we just all need to buckle down together.
Yeah, and it's going to take like reasons for them to get in a space together. It's not really like if you're just putting them in a space together, like what's that going to accomplish? It's probably going to be more of an ego, like what Books calls it, a bagagitis. So it's like you got the bag and biasness. So I mean, like, who knows if that does more harm than good? I mean, really, I think what it requires is that infrastructure that tech companies like our tech company, and like other tech companies like Tetra and other companies bring together like reasons for these communities to work together on goals. I mean, creating environments that are welcoming to a person that doesn't even know we exist. And it's like when a kid goes into the store at like Toys R Us, it's like we need to be that toy that they want to grab into, whether it's an FPS shooter in the gaming industry, whether it's a Twitch streamer that they can now get behind that has an avatar, whether it's an IRL event that like is token gated but also has days where you aren't token gated. Like there's a lot of ways, I think, that especially when it comes to IRL stuff that we haven't tapped into, and it's going to require the people like Buckets, myself, my team, like everyone here, to figure out ways to achieve the same goal when it comes to providing experiences, IRL, online, Web 1 to Web 3, whatever you want to call it, that are welcoming for somebody that is window shopping. I mean, we're nothing more than what we present ourselves as. And if we present ourselves as a Lamborghini, most people can't afford a Lamborghini and they're just going to go shop somewhere else, if that makes any sense. So Open floor here. I know we had a couple people jump on stage. Wanted to run over to Mr. Donald. What's going on, man?
How's it going? I completely agree with you. The onboarding almost has to be seamless. A lot of people don't want the technical part of it. So if we can figure out ways to just bring it in because it is going to happen, and it can almost be like behind the scenes. But yeah, I'm digging the vibe in here. You guys are talking about some really good stuff, and getting more people in here to hear about this and teaching people about the safety of it and how it's going to work for the future is something that I'm 100% down for. But I don't know if you've read my bio yet, but I'm basically a busker in the spaces. I jump from space to space and I play live music. So if you would like a song, I'm definitely down for it. If not, I understand completely. I've been in many spaces.
Let's get some thumbs up for a song, and we'll start with thumbs up for song and thumbs down after. Well, let's just go. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm going to count as we go. 1, 2, 3, everyone, thumbs in. All right, looks like song 1. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. So I write parody music and I bring Web3 and crypto and NFTs into it. So this is one that I wrote.
Before we do this, Donald, if Tetra, I know you're in the airport, Buckets, I know you had a call. If anybody does need to drop down, we appreciate you coming in here. Feel free to come back up, or if you just need to roll out, completely understandable. Let's get to that song. Thanks, Donald.
Perfect. Met a girl in Decentraland. I aped in, found out firsthand. I fell for a PFP, and now I'm minting on OpenSea. Is it a trap? Is she trying to deceive? She turned my heart into an NFT. When she said she was decentralized, well then I knew that it was one big lie. She fucking rugged me. She fucking rugged me.
Yes!
I tried to talk, but my voice sounds like it's in the blockchain. Fucking rugging again. She was rare and I had to call it. Now I'm trapped in her hot wallet. She's calm and infinitely cool. Used me to exit her liquidity pool. She fucking rugged me. She fucking rugged me. I tried to talk, but my voice sounds like it's in the blockchain. Fucking rugging again. That's my story, as you see. Please be careful when you use Web3. Be secure, protect your seeds. Don't be a crypto fool like me. She fucking rugged me.
Ow, ow!
Hey, yo!
Thanks, guys. That's awesome. I love the emojis. I love the reactions. So that's what I've been doing. I haven't figured out how I can contribute in a way of helping yet. So I come around, I bring the levity, and
Dude, you
play some
sung
music.
that song for like a year on the blockchain. Why don't you mint it as an NFT so we can support you and fucking mint it? Or give you, give you some exit liquidity or something, going around playing these songs in the rooms. You don't even got your Ethereum address in your Twitter bio so we could tip you.
I do.
Don!
It's Donald.digijoint.eth is my wallet address. And I actually was
Got
made.
NFTs?
I have NFTs?
Yeah, did you mint that song or anything?
I don't have the song minted yet because of the legalities of it being a parody, and where I live, it's a different story. So I'm trying to figure out how to do it, but it's been difficult. But I appreciate you guys letting me play, and I hope the ones that haven't heard it yet enjoyed it.
We
Well,
really
thanks, man.
appreciate it, Donald. And if you need some help, hit us in the DMs. We will. Yeah, if you need any help getting it on the blockchain. But that's awesome, man. I have not seen a room that pumped up with that many emojis in a minute. And yeah, Chris, I'll kick it back to you.
Yes, sir. That's some good stuff, man. Thanks for giving us a little bit of a laugh. And yeah, unfortunately, I also cried because it's kind of like my love life. So felt at home there. But let's go to the other new guy on the stage. We had NFT Crypto Quiz. I think I said that correctly. What's going on? Did you want to sing us a song too?
Nah, not quite. I can't sing. I can dance sometimes, but it's NFT Crypto Keys, by the way, too. But thanks for having me up. When I came in, you guys were talking about shitcoins and stuff, which I'm sure many of us have gotten into. I've recently gotten into, um, and I'm learning a lot. I learned a lot just from books from earlier, and how not to be front run and stuff like that. So I wanted to ask that question if anyone's got any advice with that. And another question I had, just as like a consensus, what do you guys prefer for a minting price of a project? Whether it's a promising project with a lot of utilities or just a cool art project, what buy-in price would you like to see it set at? Is a question I have because sometimes, like the free mints were over that. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't like that. But a lot of people want to see like an expensive mint and expect that to go up higher. But me, I think like $30 to $50 is a really good starting price for a promising image.
Sure. So I'll touch on like what Books was referring to earlier from his space. There was a lot of stuff that was discussed there, which is great. I think that I just use mevblocker.io. I mean, you basically create like a main net through it, and you just set the slippage to like, I'm gonna have mine set at like 30. You could probably put it like 20, and it'll just make sure you don't get front ran. So it's like the Jared bot can't pick you up. You're paying your price that you wanted to pay, and on whatever speed you threw Ethereum at. But I think just like identifying stuff like that, and always using safety practices that are bigger than that. Much like I saw my buddy buy a NFT yesterday with his main wallet that has his Bored Ape, a bunch of stuff in it, and that's something that you shouldn't do. Like I think the first thing you should do is create a wallet, put some ETH in it, like your Play ETH, and use that as your trading, because you're one drain away, one wrong trade, one wrong contract, one bot away from making some mistakes. So I think that would be like the best thing to do is create a different wallet and then diversify any of your holdings, whether it's $100 NFT or a $5,000 or $100,000 NFT. Like I'm a culprit of this myself, and it's something that I'm going to change over this weekend. Is basically putting all the building a wallet, kind of, build a wallet like portfolio or a library, like a spreadsheet, and put the NFTs in different pieces. So that way, if I do make a mistake, I'm not losing my entire bag. So that would be like my main thing I would say is just diversify your portfolio, or diversify your wallets like you would your portfolio, just for the sheer safety, because this is so early that we might not have seen like the worst hack of all time. We might not have seen like the next FTX, and it could be worse. So just things to think about. Let's go ahead and run over to Lou.
Yeah, I think like wallet security, what I've done as well is one, have like 6-7 different wallets, like cold, hot, lukewarm, burning hot, freezing, right? Things like that. But another trick that I've heard, I think his name is Blockchain Ninja. I don't know if he changed his name, but he talked about setting up different if you use Chrome, different Chrome profiles, and making new MetaMask wallets for each of those. And the reason for that is, say you have two Google Chrome profiles, you make a brand new wallet, like completely different seed phrase and everything, and it's not interacted with your other wallets, right? So I'll use one of my profiles in my wallets to, do some risky stuff, things I'm okay with, potentially losing. And then the other like profile that's when I kind of do my moving around, right? So I have got, hacked or compromised, I think twice, but I think at the end of the day, that's just your tuition, right? Like if you haven't gotten rugged once or twice, probably haven't been around long enough, unfortunately. I think it's just like the dues, right? That we just have to learn and then, never fuck up again. At least try to minimize that risk. But yeah, I think Google Chrome profiles and having separate MetaMask attached to those is like super underrated. Because I don't think like you can't, if it's two different profiles, you can't, they're not connected, right? So yeah, that's just what I do. That's helped.
Smart moves, man. Smart moves. The homie that asked the question dipped out. I mean, Harley rugged or went to ask the same question to the next space. Maybe we weren't good enough. Crypto Medic, what was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, those are great points. All great safety tips. I think one of the things that gets overlooked in this space a lot of times is a lot of people still secure their MetaMask wallet with the same password that they secure like all their other uh, accounts with for their personal accounts and things, because everybody wants to remember one password, right? So I just want to throw that out there, that you should have a different password for every single thing, and it should be super complicated that nobody can get. But love you guys.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll tell you what, man. We've been going for a while here. It's been some great conversations. I think we should, let people move on with they got. I'm sure everyone's got stuff to do, especially Doodle, Rack, Tetra, all these buckets. I know Bucket's probably already gone by now. But yeah, let's do some closing thoughts here from the for the stage panel, the panels on the stage here. Rack, let's start with you, man. Give us closing thoughts on things. If you want to say what a little bit more about Degen Den or whatever you feel like saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, firstly, this has been a phenomenal space, a bunch of really insightful takes. I love the security sort of aspect here. I like the kind of idea of having different Google Chrome profiles. I've done that myself personally. I actually use my laptop specifically for just NFTs. So I will not use my main desktop computer that I use for day-to-day work to actually access any NFTs. I have done that in the past, and one of my MetaMasks was like really, really buggy. I'm not sure if it was compromised. So I kind of, took that as a learning experience, kind of just only using my MacBook for NFT trading and, et cetera, et cetera. But no, I mean, I think you guys covered like a lot of really insightful topics here. And I appreciate you guys for having me. That's my little rant right there.
Oh, great, man. Thanks for coming up, and I'm sure it won't be the last time. When we move into our our sprint towards our mint coming up very soon, we'll definitely want to circle around again. I'm sure we'll have larger audiences due to the hype going into our mint. So we'll definitely circle around with everyone that's on stage and definitely have more conversations like this. Doodle, over to you.
Chris, man, it's a pleasure to hang out with you and everybody here on the stage and all the amazing listeners. Great conversation, great perspectives. And I always come to these spaces. I always say that, I'm not perfect. I'm the first one to admit it. And I learn a lot being here. And I think from safety to shitcoins to aping into, blue chip projects, we talked a lot today. And I appreciate everyone's perspective. So, yeah, if you want to come hang out tomorrow, we'll be doing a space. It starts at 10 a.m. Super Spaces will be co-hosting with us as well, too. You can learn a little bit more about Doodlegenics and learn a little bit more about the platform. But shout out to everybody at the Metatope team. Shout out to Walker, Chris, for hosting such a great space. Back to you, brother.
Thanks, brother. Let's run over to Medic. Did you say anything, or I think you did, or you didn't?
No, I didn't say anything, but that's all good. I love you guys. I hope everybody has a great week. Thanks for turning out. Always a great conversation with everybody. I learn everything from you guys because I'm an old guy and this is a young man's sport. So I appreciate everybody.
No, for sure. I had a little bit of weirdness on my screen. It kept moving names around. Lou, I know you weren't part of the original panel, but I appreciate you coming up and throwing some feedback. So definitely would love to have you back in the space here soon, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for bringing me up. And Donald, for real, listen to them. In my opinion, mint that song. Try to get in multiple spaces as you can, and do the same exact thing, because we all need some laughs and hearing your story of how your girlfriend rugged you, so it makes ourselves feel less bad about our bags being down. No, but I will say, fix your posture, everybody. Drink some water, go touch some grass, and call one of your family members or just text them. I had a bit of a family scare this past week, so it really slapped you in the face in perspective of how fast you can lose what you love. So yeah, just call whoever it is that just first came to your mind when I said that. Text them, you know, just whatever you got to do. Just show up. And yeah, happy, what's today, Thursday? Yeah, happy Thursday.
Sure, man. Good message, dude. Last but not least, Buckets, if you're here, I think you're gone, but we'll go to Donald here.
Thanks. I just want to say thank you for having me up and letting me play my song, and keep teaching everybody about security and safety. And that's why I put it in my song too. So it's another way to teach people. A lot of people don't know what a liquidity pool is, and when they hear it in the song, they go, I wonder what that is. So I'm doing my part. You guys keep doing yours, and I'm sure we're all going to cross paths again.
Sounds good, guys. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Thursday. Close out this month strong. Hold strong, brace with the coins. Look for opportunities that won't drain your bank account and or your wallet. And hope everyone has a great time out here. Go touch some grass, and we'll see you next Thursday. Potentially next Thursday. I think we're gonna have a discussion about some strategy on a position to get more audience. So we'll let you know if there's any time changes or anything like that. Otherwise, talk to you soon.
Yeah, cyberpunk. Yeah. I mix my ETH with Polygon Pythagoras. MetaMask. Yeah, crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Help me ET phone home. Full body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the Metatope golden era. The whitelist still open. Hurry up what you need, golden chariot. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah. And use it inside your live stream. And on your metaverses, favorite games in widescreen. Metatope, visualize your digital ID. I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Yeah, Metatope is your mirror to the metaverse. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Metatope.com